thanks for having us. My name is Morten. I work at Scandlines, which is a Danish ferry company. I'm the CX digital product owner, which doesn't really say anything about what I do. So I'm a part-time business analyst, digital analyst, product owner, a little bit of a digital jack of all trades, I would say. And this is Rowan.
I'm Rowan. I'm a technical architect at DEPT, which means that I do diagrams and documentation mostly.
Yeah. The reason why we're here is to share a little bit about how Strapi plays into the role of Scandlines and our future digital developments in competing with the largest Danish infrastructure project ever. I'll come back to that in a second. A few quick words about Scandlines. As I said, we're a ferry company. We operate 2 routes between Denmark and Germany. One takes about 45 minutes, and the other one takes about 2 hours. And apart from that, we also operate 2 border shops, which is basically massive stores that sell booze, wine, beer, and candy. So basically everything that's bad for you. But you didn't hear that from me. And a few words about the numbers and the volume that we're actually moving. These are 2023 figures, so they should be a bit higher now, but we have roughly somewhere between 6.5 million and 7 million passengers per year. We had 39,000 departures, so sometimes we refer to ourselves as a floating bridge, because we have so many departures between Denmark and Germany. We operate in 4 different ports. We own 3 of them. Unfortunately, we don't own the port in Rostock. It's simply too big. And the business is split between, we have cars, buses, and trucks. And cars account for about 60 to 70% of all the traffic that we move.
Yeah, who's DEPT? We are a digital agency. We build digital products for our clients, combining tech and marketing. Nowadays we do that. We have over 4,000 people across the world. And really on our tech side, we strive to be tech agnostic. So next slide. Meaning, well, essentially we choose the right tool for the job that we are. On the tech side, we really work in 3 pillars. In experience, we want to build the nicest experiences for web, app, and beyond. On the content side, it's really about selecting and implementing the right CMS platforms for what we want to achieve, and the same on the e-commerce side, really about selecting, leveraging the platforms to their fullest. And we reinforce all of this with integrations, also using integration platforms where it makes sense, data AI and marketing to give more insights on how everything is performance, quality assurance to make sure everything meets the standards, of course, and a very strong cloud team to ensure hosting and availability and reliability on that side.
So, what is the challenge for Scandlines in 2025? It's a fun one. This picture illustrates it quite well. What you see down here is the Scandlines port, and the diamond-shaped figure up here is the entrance to the Femern tunnel. It's, as I said, it's the largest infrastructure project in Denmark ever built, and it's gonna cut the time needed for this crossing from 45 minutes to 15 minutes. That's quite a competitor, I would say. So just out of curiosity, how many of you in here would choose to go with the ferry that takes 45 minutes over a 15-minute tunnel ride? I see 2 hands. Yeah, that's what I thought. So the question is, how do we compete with that? Historically, Scandlines has operated more routes in Denmark, but usually the government builds a bridge that ends up closing down the route. So this time we're really trying to take up the fight. The only way we can do this is by providing customers with excellent customer experiences. First of all, it's by having a really unique digital self-service that allows customers to buy online, change their bookings online, make sure that they get the best prices when they book online. We also want to have automated check-in to cut down the time needed when you actually arrive at the harbor until you get on board the ferry. We have cameras that reach the license plates and can tell how many people are inside the cars. When you combine those two, the food and beverage pre-order suddenly becomes very cool. How cool would it be if we in Scandlines could see when a passenger arrives and checks in at the harbor, and we can see that there's 4 people in the car, and we can send you a text on your mobile saying, hey, do you want to have your serving of 4 plates of French fries ready for you when you get on the ferry? We also offer onboard tax-free. And of course, we're looking into have charging for electric cars at the harbors or on the ferries potentially. And last but not least, we want to make sure that passengers get that feeling when they step out from their car on the ferry. Our starting point for all this was an app that just kind of lived its own little life. It couldn't really do much. It could sell tickets, and that was just about it. It had a lot of errors in it, and we couldn't really do anything about them because we had very few resources available with the vendor. It was in a content management system called NStack, which was really difficult to work with. And the design didn't really look like anything else that we have in Scandlines. The same goes for the websites that we are currently working on redesigning and redoing. They are hosted on Umbraco 8, which has an end of life in February this year, so we are really running on fumes here. The code base is messy, the editor interface is really messy. Yeah, I guess you know the story. So we knew that we needed to do something, and we set out to describe some business objectives that we needed to fulfill. The first and single most important was to create a scalable infrastructure that can allow us to do a lot of funny stuff in the future. Also stuff that we don't know that we're going to need within the next 5 to 10 years. We also have a lot of content editors who complain about how difficult it is to work in Umbraco, so we needed to improve the work for them. Of course, we also needed to be able to move faster and implement new things a lot quicker than we do today. And we wanted to provide a seamless user experience so that no matter where we meet our customers or our passengers, they see the same expression in the app, on the website, or on the ferries. And last but not least, we had the goal that 80% of our tickets should be sold or pre-booked online by 2025. So that's a hard deadline for this year. And then I'm going to pass it on to Rowan.
Yes. So from these objectives, we were tasked with coming up with a tech platform, a digital platform that was able to meet these objectives. And when you start with a solution like this, a very integral part of it is, of course, where the content is, what CMS, and what won't surprise you that we came to Strapi. First and foremost, because headless was definitely the right option. The needs for flexibility, scalability made headless essentially the only option that was worth going for. And then at Strapi, we arrived because we saw that it was very editor-friendly and developer-friendly at the same time. Really hitting those content editor needs, but also the needs for quick development turnover. And we also saw that the The open source core of Strapi was very attractive, but we also saw it as backed by a strong company, meaning that the ongoing support and reliability is ensured going forward, so it can be in place for, well, hopefully many years to come. The solution we ended up with looks a bit like this. I won't linger too much on this slide because there's a lot going on. I'll zoom in on the two separate projects that we did. So first the app. This is a little bit more manageable, hopefully. So the goal of the app really was to provide real-time ferry schedules and departure times, and also, most importantly, for easy ticket management, purchasing, to make the experience a lot more seamless. The app itself we built with Kotlin multi-platform, which is a preferred tech stack for building apps, because you can use the shared code base for all your business logic, but with the separate native code bases, you can still have the native performance, which can be a challenge with other shared code base solutions. Then the app talks to a BFF API, so an API backend for frontend specifically built for the app. This handles business logic on the backend side. It connects to the book service by Scandlines, which is the enterprise API that provides us with all the information, and is also where the tickets are stored, and also caching, because, well, you know, enterprise APIs, they are not the fastest, and no one wants to wait several seconds for their departure times to show up. The content comes from a Strapi 4 instance, which is separate from the website instance. But first, this is what the app looks like. This is how it is, so you can see, easy ticket management, quick overview on the routes and the departures. Then we have the website, quite a bit bigger, so it also provides the real-time schedules and ticket purchasing, but there's also a large place for it for engaging travel content, inspiration, to see, is there anything to do in Germany? Apparently so. The tech stack on the front end on the website is Next.js with React, and we actually have the three separate websites for the three separate purposes for Scandlines. So we have the website that's more focused for the consumer, people coming with their own cars and their families, but also separate websites for freight, so trucks really carrying cargo, and buses as well for large trips. They have their own needs, so they have their own separate channel tailored to them. This is all from a shared code base, but they do run on separate instances also to have separate scaling and features like that. For search, we use Cluedo, which is a crawler-based solution. So we chose that because dealing with search in headless can be a challenge, because not all the content that is on your platform comes from the CMS directly, and a crawler-based approach really circumvents that, and it was essentially plug and play, so that also ensured we could hit the short turnover time. And this runs on a Strapi 5 instance that is separate from the app. And actually the one CMS now powers the 15 different experiences, so the 3 sites, all in 5 different languages. And then you come to something that looks like this. So very pretty. Inspiration, booking tickets, and hopefully when it launches, it hasn't launched yet unfortunately, but when it launches, happy users as well. So how did we come to use separate Strapi instances? We started with the app, and when we started, Strapi 5 was not out, so of course we started with Strapi 4. And actually, both for Scandlines and for us as DEPT, Strapi was a trial here. We hadn't done much with it, and we really wanted to see, prove itself in a real-world case, and see if it also could power the next steps for Scandlines. And we knew that the implementation was going to be very straightforward. It's mostly translation keys that powers all the text in the apps. And then just a little bit of content. So what you see here is actually all of the content types that are in there. So very simple, very straightforward, but also very successful. We were both really happy with how it worked, how simple it was. So we decided to move forward with Strapi for the website as well. By the time we got there, Strapi 5 was just released, so we were faced with a choice. Are we going to jump on Strapi 5 or continue in the Strapi 4 instance? But we really wanted the Strapi 5 features. There were some very nice ones, especially a good fit for websites and disk websites, such as the better localization support and drafts. But we didn't want to compromise the stability of the app because that was running really well. So we decided to opt for a separate instance so that we can leverage the fast pace and the cutting edge of V5 while keeping the app instance stable. And you can see it's quite a bit larger implementation now. At the start, things were not always going well. We definitely were noticing missing functionality. Sometimes there were some bugs that we hit. But on the flip side, what was really nice is that the weekly release schedule of Strapi really helped here. Issues were fixed within a week. Usually, we have Jira tickets that were essentially closed. Oh, Strapi fixed this, which in the end made the product and the platform really nice to work with. For example, we were struggling with a preview plugin. A lot of configuration, couldn't get it working. Then the next week, Strapi released their built-in preview, and it worked right away, right out of the box. So that was, in the end, really nice to deal with. I want to highlight two things that we did to build the website that I think are really nice. We really like to build content pages, in a component-driven way, so the content editors are flexible in how they put the layout of the website, what content they want to put where, to give them that control. And the dynamic zones in Strapi work really well for that. We give them the options, they build the pretty stuff. We did have some components that we wanted to have the content be reused across the site, so there's a lot of frequently asked questions on the site, and the question and answer is the same everywhere. So we built a separate content type for that, where the content of the FAQ item is stored, and then the FAQ block or the FAQ component in the dynamic zone simply links to all of these separate questions. So you can still choose what questions do you have on what page, so what is more relevant, but you still have the consistency across the site that every question has the same answer everywhere. How we handled multi-site setup is we had the three separate channels, but the design of them, the look and feel is mostly the same. So we also have the same components everywhere. So also the content editor experience is consistent across working with the sites. But for the page types, we use separate content types, and this allowed us to have a separate permission setup. So some editors only work on the freight and bus websites, for example. And by doing that, we can easily give them the permissions only to edit what they need to edit. And it also helps that you don't accidentally link from, let's say, the homepage of freight to the homepage of bus if you don't want to. Of course you can, but it does make it a bit more explicit. Hey, this is actually going to a different site. Are you sure you want to do that? We did face some other challenges in Strapi 5 that, well, hopefully maybe in the future we'll see resolved. Especially the first part, where currently a relation field can only link to one type. And for internal linking, because we have the separate page types, we also wanted to have a link option to either page content or page home. But yeah, we didn't get that to work. So in the end, we ended up just a URL field that they can put in the URL. It works, but a little bit less nice. And on the same topic, I really missed the ability to track references from within the CMS out of the box, so that you are on, for example, a category content type, and you can see within the CMS which pages have this category. Or for example, you can see which pages have a certain FAQ item, where is this question on the website, to help in the content experience. And at the start, we really noticed that the plugin documentation was not fully there yet for V5, or suddenly you are reading something on V4 and it works a little bit differently, which was a challenge, but we managed. But what did the content editors think?
Well, I just did a quick tour and asked some of the editors what they thought about this. They are super happy, to say the least. We have webmasters who are used to working in CMSs every day, but we also have people who work in the harbors who are just doing ferry operations. They are the ones who write about it if we have storm delays, or if a ferry needs to be taken out of operations due to repairs or something. They write that on the website, so it had to be super easy for them to use. And after training them, we have received 0 questions back, which is quite remarkable. I've never tried that before with editors who are not used to working with it. We've also just concluded the migration from the old Umbraco. We're planning to go live with the websites in August. We are approaching our peak season right now, so we don't really feel comfortable launching a new website just before we have 60 or 70% of our consumer traffic coming to the website. But the word back from the people doing that migration is also that it has been like Control-C, Control-V, and just completely unplug your brain. Don't need to think about anything because it's so simple. Yeah, some of the benefits we've seen after going to Strapi is we have seen incredibly short development times. When we did the new app, we went looking for an agency, and we had a pitch where we invited 5 agencies. We had the pitch rounds in January. We needed to have a signed contract by the beginning of February, and we needed to have an app launched in May to make sure that it was ready for the peak season. 2 of the agencies backed out. Third agency said, we really want to help you, but could we please postpone the launch date? And in the end, we ended up going with DEPT, and they did it from design to launch in 3.5, 4 months. So that was quite remarkable. Again, the word back from the editors is that it's super easy to work with. And what we have seen with the app is that it is super stable. We don't have any issues at all with it. We've gone from somewhere around 100 customer complaints only about the app per month to less than 5 after launching the new app. So that's beautiful. There's a lot of cost savings there at customer service. A few words on our future plans that involve Strapi is that we have the bus operation, and right now bus companies, they call in or send emails into us for bookings on specific departures, and then they are handled manually by customer service. It's around 100,000 annual bookings. We're going to do that in Strapi and through our booking engine sometime later this year, so that's also going to cut to full-time employees in customer service that can be spent in other places. Also, we are going to implement user login across all channels to let users see their bookings, historic bookings, and change their itinerary. It might seem a bit strange that we don't have it yet, because I would think that it's something that would be expected in the travel industry, but it's going to come. And as I talked about, we are also planning on implementing food and beverage pre-order. It's something that we really believe that customers will be happy with. So they don't have to get in line to buy their French fries. Usually when a ferry comes in and the cars drive on board, it's a stampede when people get out of their cars and onto the stairs up to the kitchen or to the toilets. So it's going to be really great if they can just go to the toilet peacefully and then go and pick up their food. So yeah, the conclusion to all this, have we met our business objectives? Basically, yes. We have the scalable infrastructure that we need. We have achieved our improved content workflows. Development is a lot faster than anything I've ever seen before in any CMS. And the latest figures I've seen is that we're going to reach the 80% pre-bookings by July this year. The seamless user experience, as you can see from the little builder guy here, is still work in progress, but we're getting there. Hopefully sometime later this year. That's it for us.